I live here now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Where
sorry.
in Chicago do you live?
I'm in on the north side,
Okay.
and then also in the suburbs.
All right.
So,
Well, we're on the north side.
oh, where at?
What?
Irving Lakeshore.
Okay. Yeah, I used to live right over there.
Really?
I used to, yeah, I lived on, what was the name of that street? I lived, yeah, right off Irving Park, and like Clark, like Irving Park and Clark.
Now, how long have you been up here or down here?
I've lived here for about a little over 2 years now. But
Okay.
I lived in Phoenix, Los Angeles, a bunch of places. But I grew up in Chicago. Last time I was there was it was 2008. Like I lived there for a span of like 8 months, and then I moved off down here.
Cool. So, what got you into this? I mean, how long have you been involved with Occupy?
I've come here every day since it started.
Really?
Slept here on the nights that I could. I mean, I have a full-time job, so I leave and I go to work.
Yeah.
And then I live on the south end of town, so I have a lot of space with a lot of like chickens and animals and stuff. So I have to leave to go home to take care of them.
Okay.
And do all that. I can't neglect that. But then I come here every day for several hours. And then when my girlfriend's around and she can take care of some of the home stuff, so I will spend nights here.
What do you do during the day?
As a job?
Yeah.
What's my job? I work at a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't understand like how everybody got together here, and then in Chicago it started where Occupy. Where?
New York City.
In New York.
New York City, because it's everywhere else is solidarity with Occupy Wall Street. Basically, it came together as we are extremely fed up with the financial corruption and the fact that there's absolutely no one doing anything about it, no matter how blatant or flagrant the crimes. And so basically the idea was that they would just go physically put their bodies there to start trying to prevent them from doing their jobs until attention was paid to it and things were done about it. And that was sort of the original seed that got planted. And then it was only a handful of people there at first. It grew, got bigger and bigger. Unfortunately, a lot of the things that draw attention to movements like this are violence. And what ended up happening was police went in and started pepper spraying women in the face, just beating kids with clubs. They actually told a large group of people that they were allowed to march across the Brooklyn Bridge, and once they got on the bridge, they surrounded them, arrested over 700 people. But those videos got so much attention worldwide that people were like, fuck that, and they all went down to join them, so that made that bigger, and then people in other cities were like, we're going to go to either our local financial centers like Chicago, they got the Board of Trade, they got the Federal Reserve Bank there, so people were able to kind of go, there's a visible entity there that they could go conglomerate around, and then people around the rest of the country are like, all right, we may not have a major financial center, but we may have, every city's got the major banks sort of parked there, or various things that they could use as rallying.
So here today, how many people you think are going to be showing up about 6:30?
Tonight for our General Assembly, I would imagine you'll have a couple of hundred people here.
Nice.
It depends on how many stick around after the marches. There's actually several marches today. There's one that's against police brutality. It's like an international day against police brutality, and then focusing on the issues in your own city. There's actually, if you hopped into Austin Java, I don't have the flyer here, but there's a bunch of flyers about that, and they have a list of people that the Austin PD has killed, either with tasering, beating, shooting them, that sort of thing. So they're going to march to the police headquarters about that. But then the campaign to end the death penalty is on the same day. That'll all converge, probably end up here. So whoever hangs on to participate in the General Assembly, you might see a couple hundred people here.
Well, before we go, you guys seem very peaceful. What do you think about the news media and the way they're spinning you guys as a group?
I got on them.
What's that?
I got on them about that. They came here yesterday morning, and I approached them and I said, I understand that you have to do your job and that it's within a certain medium, but can you please try your best with the resources and the skills that you have to portray an image that doesn't just give this static impression of homelessness and quarrels and just. I understand when you look at this, your first impression is not necessarily that we're the most organized, the most sane. But their opinion was, the lady I spoke to was frantic. She was like, this looks like a homeless shelter. I just saw someone throw up. And I said, yeah, well, I understand that, ma'am. But see, the thing is, we're trying to set certain standards, and one of those is we want to care for the people in our communities.
Right.
So, of course, we're going to attract homeless people. but that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
However, that image, that value is not understood when you project a static image, which is only a 5-second clip.
When Fox or anyone, whenever they come by, they always find like the top 5, weirdest looking candidates.
Yeah.
to talk to.
They set their agenda a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been interviewed by them.
I was, yeah, and personally, they seem to not really want to actually make a personal connection with you when they dialogue with you. They seem to have already their mind set up about what they think of this movement. I asked them personally, I said, will you please come participate? You do understand, right, that this is a movement for us. You understand? And he said, well, that's why we're here every day. And I said, yeah, but you're skewing the image, sir. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
He said, oh, well, I guess you're right.
Well, the reason they're here is you guys are probably one of the fastest growing organizations in history. Do you know that?
Oh, I do. And I'm hypersensitive to the fact that this is perfect timing for someone to just jump in and co-opt this.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I was just speaking.
I was right and center.
I was just speaking to some very good-hearted people, well-meaning people right behind me here, who are presenting some information that's related to MoveOn.org. And I was trying to let them know that you don't have to go through those channels. You can just come right here with your ideas. This is the venue. We don't have to include MoveOn.org. We don't have to include this list right here, list of organizations that are included with the MoveOn.org. We don't have to use. They need to come here. We don't have to come to them. This is the venue, y'all. We have the technology to communicate. We don't need to use their resources. I tried explaining that to people.
Well, we're going to roll on, so thank you so much. What's your name?
Nathan.
Nathan, thank you. And
Duffy.
Duffy, nice to meet you.
to
This is
meet you
Angela over here.
What's your name? Thanks for getting the real word out.
Yeah, no,